Oh. Hello, Sarah, Jessica. Welcome to the live broadcast. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is day 2. Dula Lee, welcome. Hello. Dula Lee in Michigan. And Dula Lee, I have important news for Michigan Intactivists from Bloodstained Men this morning. Well, it's actually not morning now. Correction, this afternoon here in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I have been talking to our co-director, David Atkinson, and we've been laying out next year's schedule for Bloodstained Men tours. Andrew, Drew, how you doing? Drew Curtis from the Washington, D.C. area. And Drew, you will be interested in hearing what I've been talking to David Atkinson about this morning for next year, 2022. I will, hey, thank you, Dula Lee. But it looks like Bloodstained Men is actually, we're going to be going to Michigan next year, among other Midwest states. Hello, Sarah Z. Sarah Z, you have important news for you as well. Looks like Bloodstained Men is going to be going to Wisconsin next year. I don't know if I can get all this exciting news in this morning and I mean this afternoon and remember it because I'm not working from notes. I'm looking at the screen to keep it, because you should be able to see on your screen all the corners that we're working. Megan Casey, hello. And I'm going to try to acknowledge as many people as I can see. Megan. Arkansas, I'm not sure about Arkansas. We're going to be doing an Upper South tour next year, which Drew, Dula Lee, we're coming to Michigan next year. We're going to do an Upper Midwest tour. I've been talking to David Atkinson today, and we talked this morning about it. Bloodstained Men, we are in the year 2022, and again, none of this is definite, ladies and gentlemen, but you know, when thank you, Dula Lee, when the Bloodstained Men, when we put our mind to something, we usually can make it happen. And what we are looking at for the year 2022, we are right now, it's looking very good for across the street with Luke. And we're going to talk to everyone too. But Bloodstained Men, we are contemplating our most ambitious year of protests ever in the year 2022. Next year, the plan right now And again, this is not written in stone yet, ladies and gentlemen, but you know the Bloodstained Men, when we have a plan, we try our best to make it happen. We want to do 4 tours next year, 20 days each tour. Bloodstained Men, it would be our most ambitious year yet. We are looking at doing 80 protests in 4 regions of the United States next year, ladies and gentlemen, the year 2022. Let's talk to David Atkinson about this. David Atkinson, I have already shared the blockbuster news here on Facebook Live, and I've emphasized to people that this is not final, but when Bloodstained Men set our minds on something, we usually make it happen. Tell our viewers what we are looking at in terms of planning for next year right now, David Atkinson.
So we're hoping at some point in the early part of the year, when it's still not too hot, to go to the southwest, like Arizona, New Mexico, maybe the western part of Texas. There are a lot of cities that we've never been to before, that as far as I know have never seen any intactivism. And so that would be the next tour that we do. It would be early 2022, maybe February and March. And then we were thinking of somewhere in the Midwest.
Let's see, there's a whole bunch of people going through honking support, I believe.
Yeah. Somewhere in the Midwest in May or June, and then...
Well, let's slow down. Just what we were looking at some specific states.
Well, we haven't been to Wisconsin, for example, since 2015. We haven't been to Michigan for a while. Or for example, Minnesota, we went to last time in 2017. So in that region, possibly extending into other nearby states. And then later in the summer, maybe in August, we're thinking possibly the Northeast, like New York, Boston, and some other areas around there.
So that would be the third tour we're looking at for next year.
Yeah. And then maybe in the fall, like a little bit farther south.
And this is where I told
Atlanta or Virginia.
Drew Curtis is watching, and Andrew Curtis, and he's in the DC area. We would begin that tour would originate in DC.
Yeah, that's also possible.
And what would that? And that would be the fourth. That would be the fall Bloodstained Men's fall tour. And where would that? And where are we looking at some of the states we might go?
South of DC, basically, because otherwise it's
the upper
cold,
south.
Right? Yeah, maybe Virginia, Carolinas.
When we talking about Kentucky, Tennessee.
Yeah, maybe Atlanta. So, yeah, but who knows, right? Because once we start, we were brainstorming earlier today. Just brainstorming earlier today, and so once we start looking carefully at the map, who knows what will happen. But we have a lot of ideas for next year.
And that would, I told our viewers, that would be Bloodstained Men's most ambitious year yet. That would be 80 protests, David Atkinson.
Yeah, I think the most I've ever done in one year is probably about 70. And that includes all the tours that we've done, as well as any days at home when I might do some protests by myself. I don't think I've gone higher than 70. So it would be an ambitious year next year if we do that. Yeah.
Well, we're going to work hard when we get home, and we're going to be looking at the maps and the schedules. And David Atkinson, you and I are on the same page on that, and we are going to do our best, ladies and gentlemen, to make it happen and visit so many of you next year.
Sounds good.
David Atkinson, we are here in Allentown, Pennsylvania on the last day of September. Amazing. September 2021. We are entering the fourth quarter of the year. Tomorrow, October 1, we'll be in Wilkes-Barre. But we're here in Allentown. What are you seeing in Allentown, David Atkinson?
There's lots of people here. There's lots of cars. And we're getting lots of honks also. And this is the first time we've protested in Allentown, so I'm happy to be here. and we are spreading foreskin awareness to all of the people in this area, because it should be your choice how much of your penis you get to keep. And it's a nice, a perfect day for protesting here. And we have a nice intersection with lots of traffic in every direction.
Well, thank you, David Atkinson. Thank you for elaborating on our blockbuster ideas for next year's schedule. And ladies and gentlemen, David Atkinson will sit down and look at all the possibilities and work his usual scheduling magic. And we hope to see you in 80 cities next year in 4 regions of the United States.
Sounds good.
Thank you, David Atkinson.
Thank you also.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is live broadcast of day 2 from Allentown, Pennsylvania. I'm going to bring you some interviews with the road crew here, and we'll move around and show you more of the traffic patterns. But it's been an amazing day here. I had a really good talk, as you can see, with David Atkinson this morning, where we laid out our hopes and our plans for next year. And I'm going to do my best. And I know you heard David himself. We're going to do our best to make it happen next year, because it's time to end the genital mutilation of American babies. It is just absolutely obscene that these doctors are performing this ancient penis sacrifice on American boys in American hospitals. It is just absolutely criminal. So let's go over here, and we'll watch Danny. We'll talk to you in a minute, Danny. We're just going to watch what you're doing for a second here. You have this amplification, and some of the people have their windows rolled down, but
Baby boys are born perfect. Even if their windows aren't down, they can hear me clearly. Very
okay.
Well. Babies are not born defective. Baby boys are not born defective. Protect your children from genital mutilation. Never pay a doctor to strap your newborn baby down and skin his penis with a knife. That's a human rights violation. And boys deserve human rights. Boys deserve bodily autonomy. Nobody has a right to cut body parts off of anybody else.
Tara Lynn Mendoza is watching. Megan Casey, congratulations on your happy son.
Love your whole baby. No part of your baby belongs in the trash can.
Greg Lemke is watching. Greg, hello.
You deserve your whole penis.
I hope that we'll come to your region of the country next year, or close enough for you to join us again on the front lines, Greg. So
you deserve your entire penis, all of it.
Danny Alexander, when you tell people that their son, or tell men that you deserve your entire penis, you mean it.
It's funny because a lot of guys will say, I have my whole thing. And that's really the only time that I think it's appropriate to ask, like, so you're not cut. Like, I don't like to ask that personal question, but when they say I have the whole thing, you know, I want to congratulate them if they really are, and educate them if they're really not, because a lot of guys don't realize that skin was cut off of them, that a lot of tissue was removed. They don't know that it was the whole outer, you know, sheath of the penis.
Thank you, Emily. You guys are the best. Thank you for trying to save the babies. Marissa Lauren is watching. Danny Alexander, what reaction are you getting to your commenting to your protest today?
You know, I think it's funny I think it's not funny. I think it's important to try to keep it light and kind of funny, and you can kind
Megan Casey says, can you tell her I said thank you, and it just vanished. Jay Boy, greetings. Sorry I wasn't there. Yes, Jay, I'm sure we'll see you later in the tour. Yeah, now some comments flew by and I was trying to read them all. Kimmy B says, hi all, stay safe. Danny, you're experienced enough that you don't mind me interrupting you, but pick up your thoughts if I haven't totally broken your...
you know, it's important to educate Americans on the functions of the foreskin and what the natural penis is supposed to look like and interact, and so many people have no idea, you know, that much skin was cut off of them. And, you know, a lot of times the parents aren't even in the room, so it's like, you know, nobody really sees like how much of these babies we're cutting off.
It's insane.
But then when they grow up to be men, you know, that tiny tissue they cut off, you know, a tiny baby's penis grows into a man's penis, and it's
just
so
like
nice.
the baby grows into a man.
The baby
ladies
grows
and gentlemen,
into a man.
this is not rocket science. This is a no-brainer for the American people. It's just absolutely shameful, Danny Alexander.
I think it's important that people learn that there's functions to the foreskin, and we really reinforce that as well, and not let people, you know, think that it's just like this extra anything, or it's, I don't know, any kind of like skin that collects disease. Like it's so the superstitions around it are so strong and bizarre. You know, we live in the age of information. We have, you know, supercomputers in our pockets. It just takes a little bit of research. That's all. And hopefully this is just prompting people, you know, planting a seed. There's thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of cars driving by. So, you know, for every person we don't get a honk from or anything, you know, you can imagine how many people are exposed to the message, and how many of them are going to go tell their friends and family, even if it's, oh my God, people were protesting against circumcision, how weird. You know what? At least y'all know now that people are protesting against circumcision, because this isn't done in the United States in a way where we're all exposed to this type of activism.
Thank you, Danny Alexander, and we will talk to you every day of this tour. This is day 2 of 17 of 17 cities, 15 days. So day 2 of 15 days, day 2 of 17 protests.
Awesome.
How are you holding up?
Great.
You ready to go?
I've been ready.
We'll be in Wilkes-Barre tomorrow. Thank you, Danny Alexander.
Thank you.
Boys are born perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, we started the live broadcast with Luke Artanis on the far corner. Luke, how's it going here today?
Great. It's
You
another
were born perfect.
another
You deserve to keep all of your body parts
sunny
you were
day
born
with mild weather, and it's just been a good day.
Have anything stand out from the motors going by?
I had a couple drive by. A male was driving and a female passenger, and they said, "Hey, what's this about?" And I gave him a card, and she said, in a compassionate voice, very genuine, she said, "I'm so sorry about your foreskin." So that was really sweet.
Because you've got your "I want my foreskin back."
Right.
It's a human right, Luke Artanis.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. Willie K.
How are you?
And I haven't seen you on the front line. You actually, since 2013, you actually protested with Bloodstained Men in Times Square, New York City in 2013.
That's right.
That's, 8 years ago?
Something like that.
Unbelievable, Willie K. And I also, before you tell us why you're an antagonist, I just also want to thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Willie has a beautiful, beautiful home on the Delaware River and is hosting the Bloodstained Men. We all have our own room in his house. It's an old inn and restaurant.
Your own alcove.
Willie, well, thank you so much for hosting the Bloodstained Men and preparing a feast for us both nights. We had a great feast, and we're going to have another feast tonight.
It's great having you guys here. I've been looking forward to it. It's really nice, and it's great to see the reactions of what is essentially my community, the Lehigh Valley. And I was telling some of the other members that we're like 0 to 20, the 20 positive beeps to no FUs. You know, everybody's like reacting to us, our presence here, with positive response.
Interesting.
Really great.
That's great to hear. And Willie, we started the day off. A news photographer was out here. Tell us who that media was.
That's the the Morning Call, which is our local newspaper.
So we will hope that they have that they'll post up a story and photographs about bloodstained men. That's the Morning Call, ladies and gentlemen,
Local Lehigh Valley newspaper.
and that's published daily.
Yeah, and it's also online.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you, Willie K. Well, tell us why you're an activist.
Well, I'm
Let me come around here. I'm kind of in a dip there on the ground, and so I can get the.
I'm a body worker. I'm a certified rolfer. I've been a rolfer for decades, and throughout, when I became interested in body work and alternative physical therapies, I understood the effects of trauma on the body, and as soon as I did, I realized that anything as nonsensical as a circumcision was a needless trauma to be inflicted on a child. So I became anti-circumcision a long time ago, and it just didn't make sense. But it took quite a long time for me to realize that I was actually someone, and even though I knew it realistically, that I was circumcised and it affected me. So my real passion for intactivism came many years after I was anti-circumcision, when I realized that this is something that affects all of us, including me. And so the last 6 years I've been much more involved, where previously I was just against it if somebody mentioned it, that my son is intact, but I didn't see the need for activism, and now I do.
Thank you!
And there, a car motorist passed by and yelled out, "I support you."
That's great.
That's music for the ears, isn't it, Willie?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Willie K. Ladies and gentlemen, Willie K. of the Lehigh Valley, hosting Bloodstained Men at his lovely home on the Delaware River. Thank you, Willie K.
All right, you're all welcome.
So, David Atkinson, you waited over here while I did some of these interviews, and you indicated to me that you want to move the banner, do some marching.
Yeah, well, I'm eager to cross the street, but then somebody needs to push the buttons.
All right, I will push the button for us. So we're going to cross the street, ladies and gentlemen, where we have 3 more protesters over there.
Baby boys are born perfect, just like baby girls.
You heard the news here on this live broadcast. Bloodstained Men will be protesting our plan. It's not written in stone yet, but that is our plan.
Their baby's penis.
80 cities next year, ladies and gentlemen, in 4 regions of the United States. That would be our most ambitious year yet for Bloodstained Men. You can see the traffic has been heavy all day long, ladies and gentlemen. Thousands of motorists. When the light changes, we will cross over and join the group on the far side of Airport Road here in Allentown, Pennsylvania, the last day of September 2021. Amazing. October is here tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania tomorrow. The traffic just keeps coming. It's remarkable. Remarkable that with your support, Bloodstained Men has resumed our protest tours, and we will complete this Pennsylvania tour after having visited 17 different cities in 15 days. I think we're going to get the light in a second. Here we are, David Atkinson. So they're going to be crossing the road, crossing Airport Road with the big banner. And it's always dramatic to see the big banner in motion. The motorists are a captive audience. They cannot avoid seeing what American doctors don't want them to see. We know it. We're not just guessing. We're not just speculating. American doctors do not want the American people to know that circumcision is penis mutilation. Period. We all know that female genital mutilation is clitoral mutilation. Circumcision is penis mutilation, period. Catherine Franklin came from
Medford, Oregon.
Medford, Oregon. Thank you. Catherine, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Why do you sacrifice your time to do this?
Because this is a human rights violation of our lifetime, and because we can't really call ourselves a free country when 50% of the population is having parts of their body cut off. It's just a travesty.
Here's Shelly Estevam is watching. Hello, Shelly Estevam, one of the founding spirits of Bloodstained Men.
Thank you, Shelly. Yeah, this is barbaric. It needs to end. I can't even believe I live in a country where this is performed. It's sickening. It's so sickening. My son is intact. He thanked us. I just feel like everyone's entitled to their own body, and this really needs to end.
And your son is 15 or 16?
16, yes. Yes, he thanked us when he was about 14, and he found out what circumcision was. He was absolutely horrified.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. So, everybody needs their own body. This needs to stop.
What are you seeing today in Allentown?
It's just sort of an indifference.
Hello, Lisa. Lisa, thank you for watching. And Lisa, as I recall, you live in the Midwest, so we will be there. Bloodstained Men's coming to the Midwest next year.
They haven't been really negative or positive, just some indifference to us today here. We have had a few positive honks. Not too much negativity, I'd say. It's been a good day.
Willie K on the other side of the street told us it's been, he said, I think it's been 10 or 20 to 1 positive.
Good. I would agree. Yeah, lots of honks. I haven't had any negative encounters out here.
And Catherine, this is day 2 of 15 days. How are you holding up?
Good. Ready to go. Pumped.
And we had a great night and a feast last night at
Thank you, Willie.
At Willie's house. Yes, and we interviewed Willie over there and thanked him. But that's one of the perks of being on the Bloodstained Men Road Crew when some of the wonderful intactivists with room for us host us in their homes.
That was so nice. It was a great night's sleep.
Yeah. You had your own room. Thank you, Catherine Franklin.
Thank you, Brother Kay. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Can we listen in there, Craig Adams?
That's a side conversation.
Okay. Well, let me come around here. If you turn this way so that I can, I want to keep the wind out of the microphone.
Okay.
Thank you, Jans. I believe Jans or Max Bell. You mentioned the microphone. Let's see the microphone. The microphone is on the left on this camera, so I think there might be 2 microphones. I'm not sure. I have not had reports in the past of wind problems, but let me try. Let's try this. Craig Adams, you've been protesting with Bloodstained Men. I believe we met you in Times Square in 2016 or 2013.
Yeah, 8 years ago. Am I on camera?
So why are you an intactivist, Craig Adams?
I just think it's a basic human right to be protected from bodily harm. I grew up learning about how you keep your hands to yourself. You don't commit violence against others, and it's our duty as grown-ups and as parents to protect our children from bodily harm. And then when I became an adult and had a child, I sort of learned about America's dirty secret, which was kept from me. That we cut off part of boys' penises. We have this birth ritual. Part of it's been described as part of the birth practice of being born in the hospital is taking little baby boys and removing part of their penis. And I think it's disgusting and abhorrent.
And Europeans get it. They understand it. And they can't believe Americans are doing it. And more Americans are getting it, of course. But there are some cultures that, like, when they hear the Americans are doing this, they're like, what?
Yeah, absolutely. And when I sort of discovered that it was done to me and it caused me a lot of harm, and I had to have undergo corrective surgery at age 5, and that was kept a secret from me. That you know, if my body were left alone as I thought it was, I wouldn't have had to have corrective surgery, and I wouldn't have you know, I sort of always felt growing up that my body was missing something.
And Craig Adams, let me interject,
Yeah,
because
sure.
Since you brought it up, I believe I did talk to you in the past. You actually suffered a very common complication of infant circumcision called meatal stenosis.
Yes, that is correct.
Tell our audience, many of you know what meatal stenosis is, but some of you may not know, or some viewers are just seeing Bloodstained Men for the first time. Craig Adams, give us a brief description of meatal stenosis and what you suffered.
Yeah, well, well, for me it was...
Wait, it's very noisy out here.
For me it was doctors or I guess my parents, you know, talked to the pediatrician and noticed that my urine, when I was peeing, it was a very narrow stream of urine. And so the doctor diagnosed me with meatal stenosis. I was referred to a urologist when I was 5, and I guess the urologist sort of diagnosed me with that and recommended a surgery to widen my urethra, my pee hole. And it was very painful having to urinate after that. I remember very well how painful it was for a couple of weeks, and I always sort of considered that the most traumatic experience of my childhood. You know, knock on wood, I had a very good childhood otherwise. And but it was kept from. It was never mentioned that this is sort of a complication of having part of my penis removed at birth, the protective foreskin. And so when I finally learned that, many years later, I was sort of very upset about that, and I didn't understand why we would keep that a secret. You know, so I'm just here to raise awareness of you know, Mother Nature knows best. Basically, it doesn't make any sense to me why we would cut a child's genitals for any reason. And I've really learned that you know, it's a cultural practice throughout the world, and it's always done to children at different ages, and it's a tribal thing, and meaning that when it's done to a child, that child is supposed to keep secret. You're not allowed to complain. The child's not allowed to complain. The adult's not allowed to complain. You're not, you know, no matter how harmful it is, no matter how painful it is, no matter if it's you know, botched. You know, no matter how much of your penis your genitals are removed, you're not allowed to complain.
And in fact, Craig Adams, interesting enough, American doctors so well recognized that in the early 20th century, mid 20th century, that they actually invented new explanations for why they were circumcising boys. It went from damaging their penis to stop them from masturbating, to suddenly they claimed that circumcision was for the boys' own health benefits.
Yeah, and you try to bring that up today, and you know, they don't want to hear it. You know, and to me, you know, for me, it's a reason to stop doing it. You know, it's outdated. It's like a lobotomy of a penis. We don't do a lobotomy anymore. Everybody recognizes being barbaric, as being without, you know, entirely harmful to just remove a part of the brain in hopes that it would, you know, have some positive effect. You know, what tonsillectomy? You know, I used to recommend removing child tonsils for any reason or no reason. Don't do that anymore. So I just don't understand why we just can't stop altering children's penises.
Thank you, Craig Adams, and thank you for driving over from New Jersey today to join Bloodstained Men in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, you're very welcome. I have one more thing, Brother K. I'm here for the hundreds or probably even thousands of men and women who feel the same way as I do, but they're sort of reluctant to go out in public because they know it's taboo to talk about the genitals, even if you're talking about protecting children from violence. You know, so I know there's a lot of people out there who are happy that even if a small group of people are out here protesting against it, you know. So that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Craig Adams, ladies and gentlemen, from New Jersey. So you can see, ladies and gentlemen, that you've been hearing as I've been talking, You've heard multiple honks of support. People in the motorists, there's a honk and a very nice wave from a woman in that orange vehicle there. The cameras have been out all day long, ladies and gentlemen. There's a camera right there, the white car in the back there. They just took a picture. Truck drivers have been taking pictures, and we know these pictures go on social media. So you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it's just been a constant stream. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah Zymet, and look forward to meeting you next year in Wisconsin, Sarah. Hopefully our protest tours will be near enough to you. Oh, yeah, and your comment just came up, Sarah, and thank you, Max. Yeah, lobotomy of the penis, that's correct. Yeah, circumcision is lobotomy of the penis. Jans says men are so shy to even. Yes, that's true, and that's by design. It's the way circumcision works is that men are supposed to just shut their mouths about it and accept it as their lot in life. Many people think that's just what goes with being a man. Katie Cat is watching. Thank you, Sarah. 100%, says Sarah. And Sarah, I'm certain that you'll be willing to drive if it's within reasonable range. But yeah, we're going to get Wisconsin in there, and it'll be it should be a 20-day tour. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not making promises today. What I'm giving you an inside look at the planning process here at Bloodstained Men. David Atkinson and I had a lengthy discussion early this morning when we first came out here about next year, about 2022, and our plan right now is to schedule 4 20-day tours next year in the United States, in sometime in February, probably from the middle of February or late-ish February into March. We will do the American Southwest, and that will go from Arizona to West Texas. That will be 20 cities. There's some major cities in that part of Phoenix. There's just so many of them. I'm going to have to look at the map and see all the possibilities, but I believe David Atkins has already looked at a lot of it. But so Bloodstained Men is coming to the Southwest. We haven't been there for a long time. In most parts of the Southwest, we've never been to. Then sometime in May and June, probably late May to middle June, or in June, we will do the Upper Midwest. I don't want to get the order wrong because we're going to do two Midwest tours. One's going to be the Upper Midwest, and one's going to be the traditional Midwest. We want to do Michigan and surrounding states, Minnesota, and then I think we're going to do Wisconsin and surrounding states. So David will act as I'll have to sit down and figure those out. But we will do 40 tours between Michigan, the states of Michigan, and 40 cities in 2 tours between Michigan and Wisconsin and the adjoining states. We'll have to see how that works out. And then in let's see, I think I got that wrong. I'm gonna have to write this down. Don't quote me on that, because I just realized we're also doing the Northeast in the summer. Yeah, so I may have overstated that, about 40 cities between Michigan. I believe that would be the same tour. 20 cities between Michigan and Wisconsin and adjoining states. Then in late summer, that would be in late July to mid-August, it will be the Northeast, New York City, Boston, and the surrounding, all the cities and states in that area, some of which we've visited, some of which we haven't. So that would be another 20 cities. And then in the fall, it will be our Upper South tour, which will originate in the Washington, D.C., Richmond, Virginia area. And again, this is all very, very tentative, ladies and gentlemen. We have just decided on this morning that Bloodstained Men will do four major tours next year, 20 cities each, our longest, most ambitious year yet. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready to go. Your financial support has made it possible. And let me add that my birthday month begins tomorrow. Tomorrow is October 2021, and my birthday is October 22nd. Please find my birthday fundraiser for Bloodstained Men and donate what you can afford. Please, every $5 donation or more helps us. That's how we are able to bring these volunteers. All of us are volunteers. None of us are getting paid. In no way. We don't earn a penny. And that's just the facts of life. There wouldn't be enough money to hire people to do this. But fortunately, all of us who volunteer with the Bloodstained Men Road Crew, we have the same knowledge and commitment and horror that you do at home. That what American doctors are doing to our sons is literally a crime. It is a crime against the person of a human being. It is a criminal assault on an innocent child who is healthy, whose penis does not need surgery for any reason. European doctors have condemned it. American doctors aren't there yet. They're still dominated by a greedy industry that is making billions and billions of dollars off of foreskin amputation on newborn infants, ladies and gentlemen. It is just criminal and obscene and disgusting. But with your support, so find if you go to Bloodstained Men and Their Friends on Facebook, there's a fundraiser tab. Click on that and you will see the link to my birthday fundraiser. And every dollar that we raise goes to fund the travel expenses of the road crew on the Pennsylvania Circumcision Crisis Protest Tour. And your donations give us the resources that we need to plan ahead, because that's what we're now doing, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking at 80 protests for the year 2022. A remarkable development for Bloodstained Men after being out of action for 20 months because of the COVID situation, all the ambiguities about travel, etc. So please please donate to my birthday fundraiser. You will find it through the link on Bloodstained Men and Their Friends. There's a fundraiser tab. Click on that and you will see it. Brother K's birthday fundraiser for travel expenses for the Pennsylvania Circumcision Crisis Protest Tour Road Crew. We depend on your support to do these protests, ladies and gentlemen. So that is my report here from the front lines. In Allentown, Pennsylvania. I was just refocusing my eye here because I'd had the camera turned toward me for that last speech I gave you. I will conclude with some sights and sounds of Allentown, Pennsylvania here. We will be in Wilkes-Barre tomorrow. There's a hunk of support. If you live in or near Wilkes-Barre, or you have friends who do, get on the phone. Let your friends know that Bloodstained Men will be in Wilkes-Barre tomorrow, and we would love to meet you. Come out and join us in the struggle for human rights for American boys. Who would think that in the United States we would have to do that? So you can see they've set up the big banner across the street on that corner where I began. There's a hunk of support. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you tomorrow from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Tomorrow, October 1st, 2021. My body belongs to me. Foreskin theft. See you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen.
learned that he was